Satish Kumar, thank you very much for your wonderful talk on spirituality and sustainability. You talk about how science and spirituality need each other. So what do you feel are the main dangers if they are separated?
When science acts alone without spiritual guidance or moral compass, then science has no direction. So it can go in any direction and end up creating technologies which can be very dangerous. So for example, nuclear weapons are created by science because they did not have spiritual values of non-violence, of compassion, of love. And so there can be other such things which create global warming, climate change, depletion of resources. So science needs some moral, ethical, spiritual values. In the same way, spirituality and religion also need rational, scientific thinking. If you have no rational, scientific thinking, then your faith can be a blind faith. And that blind faith can turn into some sort of fundamentalism, whether it is Hindu fundamentalism, Muslim fundamentalism, Christian fundamentalism, any kind of fundamentalism, because you are blind, you don't have rational thinking. So science needs spirituality, and spirituality needs science. And when you have best of two worlds and two wonderful disciplines, then why to have only one? Why not have both together? So marriage of science and spirituality will create a much better world than either one or the other.
Yes. And I think you said that you thought the environmental movement is failing partly because it's become too scientific.
Yes, yes. Because I think environmental movement can appeal to the hearts and minds of large numbers of people if they have some spiritual vision and not just rational, empirical, data-based analysis, scientific analysis. Because science can appeal to our minds and our brains more than even minds, to our intellect. But to change our hearts and appeal to the hearts, you need something more than scientific and empirical data. So environmental movement desperately needs something more than scientific approach. And in my view, that something more is a spiritual approach.
How can it do that?
The environmental movement has to understand that we should not be driven merely by fear of doom and gloom and global warming and climate change and disasters coming. But we should develop a sense of place and a sense of sort of respect and reverence and love for nature, for the earth, for life. Reverence for life is a spiritual value. So when we have a reverence for life and love for the earth and love for nature and rivers and mountains and birds and animals, then we will not pollute them, we will not kill them, we will not destroy them, because you don't destroy something you love. And therefore, a spiritual element will add to the environmental movement and make the environmental movement stronger and more resilient and much more appealing to large numbers of people. Because in the world, if you look at, there are majority of people have one or the other kind of faith. They might be Buddhists, they might be Hindus, they might be Jews, they might be Muslims, they might be Christians, they might be indigenous cultures and religions. So any kind of religion, but they all basically have a relationship with the earth. And that relationality is a spiritual value.